that is arithmetic operator. Okay, now from the name itself it suggests that arithmetic operators means when you want to do some algebraic operations or numerical operations. So when you want to perform some numerical operations, then we use this arithmetic operators. Okay, so arithmetic operators are operators for performing numerical operations, or you can say arithmetic operators are operators for performing algebraic operations, right? Now, so therefore generally these operators will operate on numbers, right? But then in Python, what the criteria is? Is it only for numbers or for string also allowed? So I'll just tell you that in which case what combinations are allowed. First thing you remember that all the operators which I'll be telling, they are applicable for float, int and boolean, any combination. Any combination of float, boolean and integer. There any combination is legal. Means you can do an arithmetic operation between integer, float and boolean. There all combinations are valid. Means you can do arithmetic between one int and int, or one int float, or between boolean also, between boolean, float, or int, any combination. So that is one thing you should remember. Then you can do complex operations but with some restriction, but between complex and complex. Getting? So if you have a complex data type, so between complex you can do arithmetic operation, but some are not allowed. Getting? So especially this mod and floor division, these two are not allowed. Means on this two complex operation is not allowed. All other operators you can perform on complex also. And for string, between string and string, only plus is allowed. Between string and string, plus, which does the job of concatenation. Okay, and between string and integer, star is allowed. What is that behavior? I'll tell you later. But for string only these two possibilities are there. One is plus, which is string and string, and one string and one integer. Between that multiplication is allowed. String and integer. Between that multiplication is allowed. Getting? In case of complex, all operations allowed except these two are not allowed. And between these three, all possibilities are there. Means each and every operator for any of these three combinations language gives. Getting? Now we'll discuss all these operators one by one, in which few, though I hope you know it, like plus, which will do the addition work, a plus b. Getting? So I won't go into too detail for this addition of a and b. Only few operators are there which need some explanation, that I'll tell you. So a plus b, a minus b, or b minus c, you take anything. So it will subtract c from b and give you the result. Multiplication, getting a and b, and the star operator. Now these three are common, you know it, like. Okay? Now the remaining which I'm telling, only their explanation is needed, that I'll quickly tell you. Next is division, a by b. But the speciality of Python is when you use this single slash, it is always a float division. Means irrespective a and b, let it be both are integer, the answer is always float. This is not true in strict type language. Those who are already from C or C++ or Java background, always remember there, if you write a integer divided by integer, the answer is integer. If you do the same thing in Java, 5 by 2, the answer is 2. It won't give 2.5. Why not 2.5? Because there integer divided by integer is integer. Same in C, same in Java, same in C++. If you do 5/2, the answer is 2, not 2.5. But in Python, it is A slash B, always float answer, that is 2.5. Irrespective, they both are integer. You understanding? So if you are doing integer divided by integer, then also the answer is float only. Is it clear to you? Okay. So please make that thing clear, that in Python, slash is a float division, irrespective A and B's data type. So if A and B both are integer, then also the answer is float only. One int and one float, 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 float and boolean, boolean and int, any combination, the answer is always float. Okay? Now coming to the next one, that is A double slash B. In this case also, let the data type be anything. Okay? But the answer is always floor. Now you might ask, like, what do you mean by floor? It is called as a floor division. Okay? So floor division means what? Right? So it will do the single slash division only. After doing single slash division, whatever answer you get, it will return the nearest integer. Here carefully, nearest integer, which is less than equal to that number. Correct? That's the reason we call floor. Floor and seal. Now inside your room, on the place on which you are standing, that is the floor, and if you see upside, so that is the ceiling part. So ceiling and floor, they are the opposite of each other. Getting? So always remember, 2 slash will return the float division's answer's floor. Okay, meaning whatever answer you have got by single slash, its nearest whole number, which is less than equal to that. Okay, so I'll tell you few examples, you will only tell me what will be the floor of it. Okay, like if suppose it is 0. Now school days, I hope you might be remembering. Okay, number line we used to draw 6th, 7th, -1, -2, -3. Getting or no? Now tell me, if I'm in 1 to 2 range, so any value is there, 1.1, 1.01 or 1.9, anything you take, its floor is 1 only. See, if I take 1.5 also, I take 1.9 also, I take 1.999 also, or 1.01 also. For all this, the floor value is 1. Why? Because 1 is the nearest whole number which is less than equal to all these number. So who is the nearest whole number which is less than equal to all this? 1 only, obviously. Getting? But in case of negative, it is the next one. Like if I'm having minus 1 point something, minus 1.9, minus 1.119, whatever, its floor is -2, always remember. Why? Because -2 is the nearest integer which is less than equal to all those number. I hope you know it. Is -2 lesser than -1? -2 is lesser. -3 is less than -2. Do you agree or no? Clear? So if I say -1.7, so its floor is -1. But if I say -2.
Sec 2, yeah.
Okay, I wrote. And 1.7 if I write, so its floor is 1. 1.7, 1.71, 1.72, whatever you take, from 1 to 2, any value, its floor is 1. Because 1 is the nearest whole number less than equal to all those. So same way in this range, getting? Whatever value you have, the nearest whole number which is less than equal to them is -2. Getting? So that just you have to remember. So I hope what does single slash and double slash do? It is clear to you. If I write A double slash B, this is same in R language also. R is also very famous language for analytics, like those who want to enter into data analytics. So those people can learn R. R is still famous and still in usage. Okay, so A double slash B, right, is same as floor of A slash B. So it will take the normal A division B, which is a float division, and whatever answer you get, its floor. Its floor means the nearest integer. Is it clear to you? Okay, I'll give you the demonstration, don't worry. Okay, I haven't started idle. Meantime, what I'll do, I'll share you a link of PyCharm installation, and if you, I'll give you that link. I've kept a video already on YouTube, but I'll give you that link. Please see that. Try to install PyCharm also on your machine, and if you are done with it, just tell me, so that then onwards we will start solving programs in PyCharm too. Getting? So I won't waste one separate 15-20 minutes on showing you the installation. You can go through the video, install it by that steps. Sure, you'll be able to do it. Okay, and tell me, so that then onwards we will start doing some exercises in PyCharm too. Okay, then sometimes I'll give you the link of Visual Studio Code also. So I want that you get a feel of all IDs, so that whenever you are facing any interviews, you should not be in the state like, I don't know all the IDs. At least you have a feel of all the IDs. Getting? See here. Now I'm writing print 5 by 2 I'm writing. Okay? So when I say 5 by 2, it is simple float division. Let both be integer, but the answer is float. Getting or no? Try to do the same thing in C and Java. You'll not get 2.5, you'll get 2. Because there int by int is integer. And now when I'm writing 5 double slash 2, so whatever this answer you have got, 2.5, its floor. So who is the nearest integer less than equal to 2.5? 2. So it will give answer 2. Getting? See the same thing if I do it with negative sign. Now I'm writing minus 5, numerator, denominator, doesn't matter. Your answer is going to be minus 2.5. But for the same thing, if I write 2 slash, so it is single slash answer's floor. So minus 5 by 2, the answer is minus 2.5, and minus 2.5's floor is minus 3. Getting? So in short, this is a floor division and this is a float division. Hope it is clear. I don't have to go into too detail for this. Okay. Then coming to the next thing, this part is clear. Now coming to A modulo B. Okay? A modulo B. This is a remainder operator. We call it as a remainder operator. And it will return you the remainder after dividing A by B. Now I'm not trying to compare the concept of modulo in other languages, because they have their own principle. Python principle is like this. See, Python always follows this formula, and according to that formula you'll get the answer. Getting? A modulo B is, see carefully, A divided by B, sorry, A minus B into A floor B. Okay? And no problem of A and B's data type. They can be int, they can be float, they can be boolean, doesn't matter. Whereas like in C, C++, you cannot apply it on float. There it is strictly integers only. Like in Java, you can apply. Same way in Python also. So Python follows this formula. A minus B into floor division of A by B. So whatever is the answer of A by B, it's floor. And after putting in that formula, whatever you get, that is the answer. Getting or no? But this is not the case in C, C++, Java, PHP. Those languages, what they do, okay, what they do, they just take A by B's remainder and put the sign of the first operand. Means suppose you are writing 5 modulo 2, ठीक है, minus 5 modulo 2, okay, 5 modulo minus 2 and minus 5 modulo minus 2, ठीक है. These are the 4 combinations. So if it is Java or C or C++, there what happens is, first it doesn't consider this sign. It will just consider these 2 numbers and find the answer. So 2 to the 4, remainder 1 will come. Do you agree or no? 5 and 2. So it will divide 5 by 2. So remainder will be 1. Isn't it or no? Just orally you can do. 2 to the 4, remainder 1. So in C, C++, Java, all case you will get 1 only. Getting? Only the sign of the first operand it gives. So whatever is the sign of the first operand, it gives. So here the sign of the first operand is positive, positive. Here it is negative, negative. Here it is positive, positive. Some have doubt, but you will see it in C, C++ and Java. For 5 modulo minus 2, you will get 1. And here you will get minus 1. Something minus minus cancel. Getting? No. Do it in C, do it in C++, do it in Java. You'll see this answer. Because there what it does is, when finding modulo, it just takes that 2 numbers. First it doesn't consider the sign, that 2 numbers, finds the remainder and just give the sign of the first operand. So there in all 4 cases you'll get the same answer. Only the sign of the first operand is given. So first operand is positive, positive, negative, negative, positive, positive, negative, negative. But this is not the case in Python. Python follows this formula. If you try to do for this 4 in Python, you'll get a different sequence. Just do it. See, what I'll do is, for you people, I'll perform it. Okay. Suppose I am writing 5 modulo 2. Getting? So now what is A? 5 minus what is B? 2 into, can you tell me what is the floor of 5 by 2? 5 by 2 is 2.5, but 2.5's floor is 2. Do you agree? So 5 minus 4 is 1. But if I write minus 5 modulo 2, do you agree or no, all of you? If I am writing minus 5 modulo 2, please give a response. You have to interact. Okay, so minus 5 modulo 2. So what is A? Minus 5. Do you agree? Your A is minus 5. Minus, what is B? 2 into minus 5 floor 2 will be how much? Minus 5 floor 2. Minus 5 floor 2. Will it be 2 or minus 3? A 2 slash B is there, na? So here, tell me. Yes. Sure, minus 3?
Yeah.
Yes or no? It has to be. Minus 5 floor 2 is there. So the answer is actually minus 2.5, and minus 2.5's floor is how much? Minus 2 or minus 3?
Minus.
Obviously minus 3. Clear? And now if you put that, okay, so this is plus plus, minus minus plus, so it is 6. So minus 5 plus 6 will be 1. You're getting or no? See, here it is 1, whereas in C, C++, Java it is minus, because there it takes into consideration the sign of the first operand. Even if you read books, like if you read Java or C's very elementary book like Balaguru Swami and all, there in the table itself, in the bracket he has mentioned the sign of the first operand is the sign of the result. Python doesn't follow that. Python follows this principle. Python is having this formula, and it says everything goes with this formula. So now tell me, if I write 5 modulo minus 2. Okay, so is your A 5? Minus. is your B minus 2, and what will be A floor B in this case also? Will it be still minus 3 only? A floor B, will it be minus 3 only, all of you? Yes, no, at least respond.
Yes, sir.
Sure, will it be
Yes,
minus
sir.
3 again? Yes. ठीक है, तो now, but here there are 3 minus sign, so it will become 5 minus 6, which is minus 1. Can you see the answer is total? And if you want, I'll write a C program for you or a C++ program and I'll show you. ठीक है? And last is minus 5 modulo minus 2. Getting? Okay. Now what is A? Minus 5 minus, what is B? Minus 2. But what is minus 5 floor minus 2? Minus 5 double slash minus 2. Is minus minus cancel here? Obviously. Okay? So it will be 5 floor 2, which is 2 only. Getting? But now it will be minus 5 plus 4. Minus 5 plus 4 is minus 1. Getting? Clear? I hope it is clear to you.
Yes.
Now you can quickly see this. The same 4 combinations I am writing. Print 5 modulo 2 minus 5 modulo 2, 5 modulo minus 2, and minus 5 modulo minus 2. ठीक है? See all the 4 combinations. Can you see 1 1 minus 1 minus 1? Okay, for your confirmation, what I'll do is quickly I'll write one C++ program or C program for you, so that it will be more perfect, that those languages in that family like C, C++, Java, PHP, they all use their own principle. And what is their principle? Sign of the first operand. In that case, what they do, they take the normal remainder. They don't consider the sign. A by B remainder they find. And afterwards, whatever the sign of the first operand is, they will give it to the result. Getting or no? Clear? Now, I'll just write test program for you, test 5 suppose. Let's take it as C program. Now, I'll not go to teach you C and all. Just I want to tell you the output. Suppose here I put printf %d, 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 and the same combination I am writing, a 5 modulo 2 minus 5 mod 2, 5 mod minus 2, and 5 minus 5 mod minus 2. Getting? That is the principle followed. Okay? Now if I execute it, you'll see the 4 result, but just try to check the result. See, is it giving 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1. This is their result and this is Python result. So why? Because Python follows that formula. Here they follow the sign of the first operand. See, first operand, first operand, first operand, first operand. You got it or no? I hope it is clear. At least it is convinced. Sure, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now one example if I give you, you should be able to tell me the answer. Print, suppose I write minus 38 modulo 6 suppose. What should be the Python result? Okay. What do you say? Minus 38 by minus 38 modulo 6. If you put it in the formula, you should be able to tell me. I am telling you minus 38 modulo 6. ठीक है, तो a is how much? Minus 38 minus what is b? 6 into minus 38 floor 6.
minus 7.
Okay, 6 6 is 36, तो 6 point something, तो minus 7 only, obviously. Correct, right? See, if you do it with this simple way, like minus 38 by 6 if I do, so I get minus 6.333. So its floor will be minus 7. 100%. Clear? So it is minus 7. Now, will it be 42 plus 42? So 38 plus 42.
Plus
So it is plus
4.
4. Getting? But just check if the same thing I do in C. What do you say? What will be the answer? Does C initially considers this sign? Means does C simply find 38 modulo 6 and just put the sign of the first operand?
Yes.
So in C actually the remainder will be 2, no? What do you say? In C I am talking. 6 6 are 36, remainder 2. Right? And will it just put the sign of the first operand? Do you agree or no?
Yes, yes, sir.
So in C or C++ or Java, for the same thing, you'll get answer minus 2. Whereas in Python, you'll get answer 4. Again, now I am sure you have that much faith on me. 100% I know you keep faith on me. So if you try in a C or C++, sure you'll get minus 2. Because there the sign of the first operand is the sign of the result. Here it doesn't follow that principle. It says put in the formula, what you get is the answer. Getting? Check. See. Print, if I write minus 38 modulo 6. See. Do you get plus 4? Getting or no? And suppose in that program only, quickly I'll just add it for you people. The same program, the recent one which we did. In this only, here only comma, I'll put minus 38 modulo 2. Correct? And just one more percent D I'll add and check the result. Okay? Actually, my intention is not to do the comparisons with all the languages, but as I have habit, getting, okay, what I wrote, 38 modulo 6 I was supposed to write, but I wrote by mistake 2, therefore the remainder came 0. Our question was 6, right? C. But because of habit, I ultimately come with comparisons. Okay, see, what is the answer in C? Minus 2. Sure or no? So now at least you are convinced with it. I'm sure now you are convinced that what I'm trying to say, that both the languages have their own principle. Okay? Then coming to only one last operator so that we can quickly wind up with arithmetic and move on to the next one. Next is double star. A double star B. Okay? This is a raise to operator. Which is not in C, C++, Java, they don't have such operator. JavaScript has introduced, PHP also from version 5 they have introduced. Okay, so here in Python it is already there, A raised to B. Actually they have borrowed from very old COBOL language, like in COBOL and all these operators are present. Very old, like from 60s all they have introduced this. So A raised to B. And this operator is having highest precedence. Okay, I didn't come to precedence and all. I'll come to it. Before that, the associativity I'll just talk about. Its associativity is right to left. Like here, if I write again double star C, So it is not going to do A raised to B first and that answer raised to C. It is right to left. B raised to C first. And whatever answer come, A raised to that answer. Getting? That too I can justify. See. I'm writing print 2 double star 3 double star 2. If it is left to right, if it is left to, which is not, but if it is left to right, so 2 raised to 3 is how much? 8. Is 2 raised to 3 8? Yes. You being a computer people, you should know 2 raised to anything orally. You should be able to tell. 2 raised to 0 is 1, 2 raised to 1 is 2, 2 raised to 2 is 4, 3, 8, 16, 32, 64. Double, double, double. Clear? So 2 raised to 3 is 8. And 8 raised to 2 is 64. Getting or no? If we consider left to right, which is not actually, it is right to left. So right to left, now tell me, 2 raised to 3 is, 3 raised to 2 is 9. And then 2 raised to 9. Now 2 raised to 9 is 512. Value double. As I said, now 2 raised to 3 is 8. 2 raised to 4 is 16. 2 raised to 5 is 32. 2 raised to 6 is 64. 2 raised to 7 is 128. 2 raised to 8 is 256. And 2 raised to 9 is 256 double. That is 512. So answer come 512. If it is left to right, so your answer was supposed to be 64. Getting or no? So it is right to left. Okay. So hope this concept is clear. Now only quickly I'll talk about their precedences. Always remember the highest precedence is to unary plus unary minus. Plus and minus, but unary plus. Getting or no? This is assertion and negation. Negation operator, assertion operator, unary, which is always used in prefix form. Okay, prefix notation. Then the next precedence is this double star. Okay, and this one is also having associativity from, okay, this is having associativity from right to left. Then this double star, which is raised to, it's a binary operator. These are unary, these are binary. Next highest precedence. As I'm going down, the precedence is decreasing. Here also the associativity is right to left. Okay? Then next one is star, multiplication, division, floor division, and modulo. They all four have same precedence, lesser than this. Unary highest, then this exponential. Okay, they both right to left. This all have left to right. And then finally binary plus and binary minus, the last one. Getting? Its associativity is also left to right. Okay, I hope you are clear with it. Okay, so as I am going down, the precedence is decreasing. Okay, so these two are unary, prefix form, they are right to left associative. Next binary is exponential, the highest one. Then these all four have same precedence, lower than this, associativity left to right, and last binary plus binary minus, left to right, the lowest precedence. Okay? At the end of the chapter, I'll give you a complete table also. And by observing the table, you'll come to know who is having more precedence, who is having less precedence. Okay? Till here, I hope it is clear. Only one or two things yet remaining. That is about the string data type. So on string data type, you can only do concatenation of string with string, and plus sign is only applicable. Means Python says if plus is operated on two strings, it will generate and give you a new string, which is a concatenation of these two. That is the first string followed by the second. Concatenation means first followed by second. So if plus is operated on this two, not like Java, like in Java one string and one another data type. So another data type is implicitly converted to string, not here. String and string strictly. And second is multiplication, which Python allows. Okay, but for string and a whole number, that is integer or boolean. Boolean allowed because implicitly boolean is 1 or 0. Getting? So if you do string multiplied with integer, right? Now that int can be before or after also, doesn't matter. Means int string, string int, but multiplication. Then it will do repetition. Just remember, it is not going to do multiplication operation. It is going to repeat this string this much time. And that's the reason Python makes programmers so much work easy. Getting? So the same string will be repeated that much number of times. And it will return you a new string after repeating that string. You understanding? Clear? See here. Print, and first thing I told about the string and string. So if I write Ram and plus Sita, so it will return a new string Ram Sita. Okay? And if I write print Ram multiplied by 5, so it is going to repeat that Ram 5 times. And it will return you Ram, Ram, Ram 5 times, a new string. See. And the precedence is still same. Huh? Okay. So suppose here if I write 5 into Ram into 5. So the precedence associativity is same. That is left to right. So first 5 into Ram. So 5 into Ram means it will create a new string in which 5 Ram are there. And 5 Ram into 5 will be 25 Rams. You understanding or no? See. Why? Because the standard associativity left to right. So as it is left to right, first it will do 5 into Ram. So Ram is multiplied how many times? 5 times. You got a new string with 5 Ram, and that 5 Ram into 5 when you do, so that 5 Ram are getting repeated how many times? 5 times. So total you get 25. Is it clear to you? Okay. So I hope it is clear. Only about the complex one you have to remember. That complex allows you to do operation on any combination, any operations, only modulo and floor division. Complex doesn't allow. Clear? So that 2 example if you want I'll give you. See, I'm writing 4 plus 5j plus 6 plus or 6 minus 2j. Doesn't matter. 4 plus 5, 6, 4 plus 6, that is real 10, and 5 minus 2, 3. So 10 minus 3j. Getting? Even multiplication you can do. Okay? When you do multiplication, real, imaginary, subtract. So see, real, 6 into 4, 24. And 5 into 2 is 10. Getting or no? Clear? So plus it will take. No, first what it will do. No, but precedence is to this, right? What happens is it will take 30 and minus 2. What happens is this 5 into 6 is 30j, and 30j minus 2j is 28j, and 4 plus 28j. That happens. It happens like that. So what happens is this 5j is getting multiplied with 6, so it is 30j, and 30j and minus 2j is 28j, so 4 plus 28j. But if I put bracket to this complex number, so it will do like this. Getting? Real, imaginary. Means it will take 6 into 4, 24, plus, because originally it is minus, but already there is minus plus, so it will take 10. Getting? No? Real, imaginary. That gives a new real, and new imaginary is cross. Getting? Cross multiply. Getting? 4 into 2 and 5 into 6. So whatever remains, that is 22. Okay, but complex numbers you cannot take. The division is possible, exponent is possible, but modulo is not possible. It gives a error. See, it will say type error, can't mod complex number. Even floor division also it doesn't allow. See, can't take floor of complex number. But other operations are allowed, like multiplication, addition, subtraction, exponent, division, all that are allowed. Okay? You may say, what is division of complex number? Now you need to go to the college level mathematics. Actually, it takes the conjugate of it. I hope you know it. 6 minus 2's conjugate, it multiplies with numerator and denominator. Getting? So I'll not talk too detail into it. Just remember, division of two complex numbers are allowed. Okay? Okay. So all the operators are clear. They are functioning, their behavior. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just quickly we will move on to the slides part, and then we will read. We'll move on to the next operators. Okay. See. So arithmetic operators are used to perform common mathematical operations, and this is a list I have given. Here quickly on the slide in short table I have just explained: plus, minus, multiplication, float division, modulus, exponent, and floor division. Clear? But see, I have given you the explanation, though it's not on the slide, but how floor division work and how single slash work, how the modulo work. I gave you the comparison of this modulo with other language in Python, exponent, their associativity, all that things I have told you. See here, any combination of int, float, complex and boolean allowed. Means you can do any combination of this four, doesn't matter, it's legal. But plus on both string, if you apply, it does concatenation. And star on string and an integer, it does repetition of that string. That string is repeated that number of times. Getting? That doesn't matter. First number and then string, string and number, no issues. Okay. See, for example, here I am writing Ram into true. Will also do, because true is ultimately 1. So Ram is repeated one time, you'll get Ram. Now some may say, like, if I do it with false or 0, so you'll get an empty string. Getting? It's an empty string, null string. Nothing is displayed, no? So it's an empty string. But if you try to do it with a float, it will give an error. It will say type error, like 1 point or 2.0 if I'm writing. It gives a type error. Can't multiply sequence by a float. Clear? If it's a sequence, this is double quote is a sequence, and you are trying to multiply it with a non-int. Float is a non-int. Boolean is a int. Integer is int, but float is a non-int. So that you cannot multiply. Okay? Then complex not allowed on modulo and floor division. Okay? Hope it is clear. Right? Now let's move on to the next one. If still you have doubt in this arithmetic operator, you people can ask me. If some question has come in your mind, please ask.
Sir, can you show the previous slide? Yes. Yeah, okay, got it.
Okay, so guys, let's move on to the comparison operator. In other languages, they call it as relational, but in some languages, they have further categorized, like relational and identity, inequality, equality. Here, nothing like that. All have put into one group only. So comparison operators are for setting the relationship between two values. When you want to check the relationship between two values, like whether one value is less than another, or one value is greater than, or it is exactly equal. So for that we have relational operator. Getting? Now all these relational operators are binary. First of all, they are binary operator. Okay, then they all give the result as boolean. First point, all these comparison operator, they are for setting the relationship between two values. So with that, when it is setting the relation between two values, so obviously the operator is a binary operator. The result is always boolean. After doing that operation, it returns you the result as always boolean. Okay, then this is equality to equal, same like C, and inequality. Here there is no identity, inequality and all. 3 equal and all. Some languages have, some like JavaScript or PHP, they have that 3 equal also. There they check the data type and value both. Here nothing like that. Okay, so these are the 6 operators. First will return you true if A is less than B, otherwise false. Second, true if A is less than equal to B. Then true, otherwise false. A greater than B, true, otherwise false. A greater than equal to B, true, otherwise false. Exactly same, true, otherwise false. And this is when they are not same, it is true, otherwise false. Okay, now the speciality of this operator is that you can use it for any combination of int, float, boolean. First remember, first this 4 you can use for any combination of int, float and boolean. Any combination means one is int, one is float, or one boolean and another int. Any combination for first 4. Okay? Then the remaining means for this 4 complex is not allowed. You cannot compare one complex number less than second or one less than equal to. But for this complex is allowed. Okay? But for this 3 are also allowed. So I was supposed to do like this. I should pull this here. For all this, int, float, boolean, any combination allowed. Think like that. But for this 2, only complex, or you can say complex, on complex only this 2 can be done. Exact you can check 2 complex are same, or exact or that 2 complex numbers are different. Getting? And string you can apply an all, but only string and string. Means one int and one float as we allowed. One int and one float is allowed. So that way it's not allowed. Only string and string. Getting? So all combinations for string are allowed. Getting? All possibilities. You understanding? Because in some languages string you cannot compare this way, less than or greater than. For that they have given separate functions like C or C++. There are string comparison functions separate. Here it's valid. You can compare one string with another. Okay, but now you may ask, like in context of string, how does it compare? So it will check the alphabetic sequence. So if A is alphabetically before B, if A comes before B, it will return true, otherwise false. Here also, if both the strings are exactly same, it will return true, otherwise false. So alphabetic comparison is done, but between string. But string and this 3 is not allowed. Means one float and one string, or one int and string. No, not allowed. That combination, it will give an error. Between this 3, it is okay. Any combination you can do. See, if you want, I'll show you. Like I am writing 4.5 greater than true. No issues. Will do. But if you try to do between an integer less than ram, it will generate an error. See, it will say type error. This is not supported between int and string. Okay, but between string and string, if you do, no issues. Like I'm writing ram less than sita. Get it? So alphabetically, does ram come before sita? Yes, if you do alphabetic order, so L, M, N, O, P, Q, R and then S come. So is alphabetically ram before sita? Yes. Therefore the answer will come true. alphabetically Ram is lesser than Sita, no? So true. You're getting? Like see, if I've written print A B A C something, and here I've written A D E something. Getting? So first two letters are same, A. So obviously it will check the third one. So the third one is A and D. So is A less than D? Yes. So it will return answer true. Normal to alphabetic comparison. You're getting, na? Alphabetically comparison. How alphabetically the string are ordered, right? So string and string, any combination allowed. And complex number also I told you, complex number only these two are allowed. For string actually all allowed, but string. For int, float, boolean, all, any combination of that. And for complex only these two. See, if you want I'll show you. I'm writing 5 plus 6j less than 2 minus 3j. It gives an error. Does it give an error? It says less than cannot be done on complex and complex. Okay, but maximum you can do equality inequality check. See, instead of less, if I am using double equal, false, because that two complex numbers are not same. Instead of this, here if it is 5 plus 6, so it will give true because both the complex numbers are same. Is it right? I hope it is clear. No need to elaborate too much now, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So comparison operators we use to compare two values. When we want to set relationship between two values, so we use it. All the comparison operators I have given you on the slide. Lot of shortcut I give, but while explaining I tell you so many things, right? So double equal, this is equality. Inequality means when x and y are exactly same, it is going to give you true, otherwise false. Okay, then x and y not equal, then true, otherwise false. Then this is greater, then lesser, then greater than equal to, and less than equal to. Now only what combinations are legal and what are not legal, that quickly I am going to list out. See, a double equal and not equal can be performed between any data type. Okay, see, means what they are saying is कि double equal and not equal, there is no restriction for this two double equal. You can do it between two complex, between two complex, or between two strings, or between any of these three. So for you people, this I have given a diagram. This diagram makes it more clear. See, I have just drawn a graph because ultimately though I am from an engineering background, ultimately I come to mathematics only because that is my more favorite subject. So anything I'll try to explain in that mathematical model only. That is habit. That's because of habit. So see, I've drawn a directed graph over here. Int, float, and boolean. These are the three data types, and between them all combinations allowed. You can compare between two int, one int and float, between float and float. String and string also allowed. But complex and complex not allowed except this two. Getting, which I have clarified here. So no need to in detail explain. From this graph only it is clear, no? Don't you think, guys? From this graph it is clear that between this three there is no restriction. Any combination all allowed. Between string also no restriction, but it should be between string and string only. And for complex there is a restriction. That complex doesn't allow you to do all this, only except equality, inequality. Okay, just one thing I forgot to tell you in this, that this comparison operators can be chained. Okay, the chaining can be done, right? Such chaining is not at all allowed in strict language like Java. Okay, if I'm trying to do chaining like this, A less than B less than C Not only all less than, one greater, one lesser, doesn't matter. Okay? If I'm writing A less than B greater than C double equal to D, okay, is allowed. Correct? Is allowed in Python. But how the behavior is? So Python behavior is, if all are true, the final result is true. If A less than B is true, B greater than C is true, C exactly equal to D is true, then the answer is true. Okay? In C and C++ it's allowed, but the functioning is different. I mean, I'll not go into that detail. Java, to first of all, will not allow only. Java says such associativity is not there. Means in Java, these all operators are non-associative. Okay? But about Python, just please remember. Basically, I'll focus on Python only. Okay? So in Python, this is allowed. It is 100% allowed. But the result, how it will give you, when all the operations from left to right give true, the final result is true. Okay? I'll just quickly show you one example. I'm writing 4 less than 10 greater than 2 double equal to 3, suppose. So now 1 is coming false in it, and therefore the result is false. Getting? Here if I would have put 2. So tell me, is 4 less than 10? Yes. Is 10 greater than 2? Yes. And is 2 exactly equal to 2? Yes. And that's the reason the answer will be true. Is it clear to you? I hope it is clear. The work is becoming so easy because of all these operators. Python makes your coding very easier. Coming to logical operators. Okay, some languages they are called as Boolean conditional operators. Like. So logical operators are actually used as a connective between the comparison operator. Like if you have more than one comparison expression, so to connect them you can use it. Getting? Like you have one comparison expression, this is another comparison expression, so these logical operator act as a connective between them. Getting? Logic theory somewhere in your academics you have studied, no? Like Boolean algebra, prepositional calculus and all. In 12th also you have studied A and B, then we write A or B, or sign, and sign, then the negation sign, that is not. We used to write this sign before that preposition. Getting? And then we used to build truth tables and all. I'm sure you remember that. Okay? So these logical operators act as a connective. Now the speciality of Python is these all operators are in English words. They are not symbolic like C and all. Like in C, and is 2 ampersand or 2 pipe sign or exclamation sign. So these are all symbolic. Special symbols are there. Such thing is not there. Python use clear English words for that. Okay. So not is there, which is a unary. Okay. Not of A. Then we have and A and B, which is binary, and we have or, which is also binary. Getting? Only the result, how it is. So not A will give A's complement. Like if A is true, it will give false, and if A is false, it will give true. That is not A. Okay? Then A and B. A and B. Here when both A and B are true, the result is true. When both A and B are true, the result is true. Otherwise it is false. Means if any one is false, like if A is false, it is whole false. It will not come also this side. It is short circuit evaluation. If A comes false, complete false. Getting? And in OR, when either of them is true, the result is true. Like in OR, if A is coming true, direct true. It will not check also B. And in AND, if A come false, direct false. It will not even check B. Getting? Okay. So if I put in truth table form like A and B, The possibilities both are false, false and true, true and false, and both are true and true. Correct? And now here if I write not of A and A and B and A or B, understand? Clear? Now not of A, so A is false, so here you'll get true, true, false, false. Complement of A. False to true and true to false. ANDing. Now unless and until both are true, the result is not true. So here false, false, false and true. Why? Because when both are true, then only the result is true. In ORing, when either of them is true, the result is true. So here it is false, but in all remaining cases it is true, because at least one of the operand is true. Getting? That simple the concept is. Okay? And about the precedence and associativity, so always remember associativity is left to right only, but precedence is, highest precedence is to not. Not is having more precedence. Then and then or, remember. Not is having a highest precedence. Then and then or. Okay? I hope it is clear. Only one point I have to tell you about this, but before that we'll just go through the table. Okay? Many are absent today. Someone want to ask something in the chat window? Long time I didn't see the chat window. Rishikesh want to ask something. What is difference? Regarding what? I didn't understand.
No, sir, it is clear.
Okay. It was long back question. Sometimes like when I don't see the chat window, you can unmute and you can tell me. That is the proper option. Because in the flow, if I'm engrossed in teaching, so rarely I come to this part. Getting? On the slides only I'm there. So it is good practice, unmute and just ask. Okay? Coming to logical. Few examples if you want, I'll just put here. See. Print not of 5 I write. So now according to Python, when we did casting, did we do casting operator? We studied all casting operators in the last session. We have studied all the casting operators. 5 casting operators. That was our topic in the last session. Yes or no? Just I need a confirmation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We studied that 5 casting operator, like int, string, boolean and all. So at the time of boolean casting, I told you like who are true and who are false. You remember, no? When boolean casting, I told if it is integer 0, if it is float 0.0, if it is an empty string, right? If it's an empty string and which next value, they all are true. I told you, like if it is a complex number which is containing both real and imaginary, 0, 0. So it is false. All other values are true. So here in this context, 5 will be considered as what? You remember, no? 0, 0.0, empty string and 0 plus 0, j. Okay, Python treats false. And other than this, all are true. Right? So 5 will be considered as true and true is not as false. You understanding or no? Clear? If you give an empty string also, see, not of empty string. Now empty string is already false. False not is true. Getting? Take a complex number also, 0 plus 0, j. So 0 plus 0 is, j is false. False not is true. But if I give something here, like 5 plus 6j, so it's not as false. Okay? Clear it is. About connective, like 5 less than 10 I am writing and 7 greater than 2. So as both the conditions are coming true, is 5 less than 10 true and 7 greater than 2 true, therefore the final result is true. Here if I am writing greater, okay, 5 greater than 10, so 5 greater than 10 is false, so it won't take efforts only to check this part, 7 greater than 2, because this is already false. So in AND, one false, whole false. Okay, same way if instead of AND, if it is OR, so as it is OR, okay, this is coming false, so it cannot announce direct false because it is OR. It can check the second one whether it is true. So second is coming true, therefore the answer is true. Okay, now only one last point I have to tell you, and then we'll come to the slides part. Like if suppose you use this logical operator not between booleans. Now actually these both are boolean, no? Because relational result is boolean, result is boolean. So you are doing that between boolean. But if you do between non-boolean, then how it works? Like say I am writing 5 and 100, which is legal in Python. Okay, so according to internal conversion, quickly tell me 50. I wrote 5, I spelled 5, I wrote 50. So tell me 50 will be considered as false or true? According to the casting rule, what implicitly it will consider? True or false it will consider?
You consider true.
Yes, and you know that in AND, if first is true, it has to check the second. If it is OR, so it can directly announce it. But in case of AND, it needs to check both true, no? For the result to come true. So okay, 50 is coming true. So it will come and check this side. Now 100 is also coming true. Now total true. So whichever was the last true, that it will return. So who is the last true? 100. So it will return that 100 only. That is the speciality. Okay? And in the same case, if I would have written OR. See here? OR. Now in case of OR, tell me, is 50 true?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. But in ORing, you know that if 1 is true, complete true, so it will not come to check this. That 50 only it will return. See. Now, I have taken numbers, but instead of that, if you take strings and all, that too same work. If I write Ram or Sita, getting obviously Ram, in real also, in fact also, and here also we are saying, okay, Ram or Sita. So, in case of ORing, you know if this is true, the result is true. Yes or no? So is double quote Ram treated as false or true?
True.
True. So it will return this Ram only. That string only it will return. You understanding? But instead of OR, if I would have written AND, suppose. Okay? So as Ram is true, it has to check the second part. Now Sita is also true, so last true it will return, that is Sita. Now in this only, if it is an empty string. So now tell me, empty string means
False.
false, and in AND, if one is false, whole false, it will return that empty string only. See, does it return the empty string? Yes. Okay? So these are the possibilities you should know now. Coming back, see, the logical operators are used to combine conditional statements. There is one relational and another relational. When you want to join, then you can use it. Okay, all the operators I have given you on the slide. As I said, I have given it very short, but explanation whatever is possible. Okay, as many forums I keep reading, wherever I see some possible questions, all I try to tell you. Okay, so and true if both are true. So see, if x is less than 5, true, and x less than 10, true, then the result is true. Okay, in case of ORing, if any one of them is true, the result is true. So x less than 5 come true, so it will direct announce true. It won't check also this part. Getting or no? Clear? And in the same case, and if x less than 5 come false, it will direct announce false. It won't even check this part. That is short circuit evaluation. It's called a short circuit evaluation. And not is the complement. Okay, so whatever your condition is, it's complement. So your example, x less than 5 and x less than 10, this both thing come true, so not will return false. If this come false, so not will return true. Getting? Got it. So hope it is clear. If it is, then we can move on to the next operator. Yes, quick confirmation. Shall we proceed with the next operator? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So quickly we'll discuss with the next one. If you are there, so that we have to finish up with this, we have to start with the next chapter also. Meantime, we'll answer some MCQs also based on these all operators. Then I'll give you some few assignment questions also to be solved using this operator. Coming to identity operator. Okay. Now identity operator is only one operator is there. Is we just check whether two objects are referring to the same memory. Getting? Whether they are referring to the same memory. It will not check the value at that memory. It will just check whether they are containing the same reference. Getting? So for that there is only one operator called is. Okay? Which you can even tally by checking the addresses. It's not necessary to use this is operator, but they have given. Instead of getting the address and then comparison, use is operator. Now see, x equal to 10 when I write and y equal to 10. I hope in the previous lecture, last to last lecture, I've shown how the memory management takes place in Python. Are these two different objects, but are they going to refer to the same memory location?
Yes.
You remember that, no?
Yes,
How
sir.
the pool symbol table is created, you know it,
Yes.
right? Means what Python does is it checks in the pool if there is an object with the same value. So it will not create a new one. It will just add a new entry, but still it will refer to the same place. So addresses of x and y are not different. It's going to be same. Okay. So suppose if I check like this, x is y. So it will give true because both have the same addresses. Getting? And instead of y 10, if it is 15, and now if I check x is y, so obviously not, so it will give false. Okay. And you can use is not also. Instead of is, you can use is not, which is complement of it. Means it will check whether x is not y. Yes, it is not y. X is not y because address of x is different, address of y is different. So obviously x is not y. Therefore true it will come. Getting or no? And if suppose x is 10, y is 10, and I say if x is not y, so no, they are equal. Means actually x is y and you are checking is not. So now the answer will be false. Getting? Clear. See, so identity operator are used to check whether two objects represent same memory location. Okay, so if they have same memory location, then the operator will return true, otherwise it will return false. So for that there is only simple is operator in Python, is. So if x is y, now some people can check this by id of x and id of y and double equal to. Don't you think? Instead of this, can I write like this, id of x, and then I'll use this equality operator and id of y. Is it doing the similar work? What do you say? Ultimately it is doing the same thing. Okay, it is checking the address of I, address of x, and then comparing those two addresses. which is operator internally do the same thing. Is operator checks the addresses of these two objects, and if they both have the same address, means same reference, it gives true, otherwise false. Okay, see, returns true if both the variables are the same object, and returns true in this case if they are not same object, because is not and is. Okay, so hope it is clear. Quickly we'll move on to the next one. Sure, we have some time. I guess within 5 minutes this operator we can complete. Okay, so then we will be having only one bitwise operator to be discussed in the next session. Most probably in the next session this chapter will get over. Okay, only one last, that is bitwise, is remaining, and then the assignment operator, not that big. Okay, so we will quickly finish up with this membership operator. Right, first is this membership operator can be applied only on iterable object. Okay, now you may ask, what is iterable object? Multiple names are there. Either you can call it as iterable object, or you call it as sequence object, or you can call it as group or collection, many names, or container, many names are there. Ultimately the definition is same. So iterable object or sequence or group, collection, container. So what is this object? So it's an object in which many other objects are stored. That's the reason it's called collection also, or it can be called as a container. So what are iterable objects, and why we call iterable or sequence? Because you can traverse also them one by one, like you can fetch one by one values from them. So there is a sequence and you can fetch one by one values from it. Getting? That's the reason it is also called sequence or iterable. Okay, so sequence, iterable, group, collection, container, any name you give, it is a object which stores many different objects, means in which many more objects are kept. Getting? So if you consider your office bag, you consider your college bag, so that bag itself is an object. That college bag or office bag is itself an object, but inside that also there are many different objects kept. Like you have kept your laptop, which is itself an object, then your water bottle, your charger, your power bank, then if it is a college bag, so sometimes books, your tiffin, so many things. So they all are objects, but those objects are kept in one more object, that is your bag. So this acts like that bag, okay, or it acts like a container. So this membership operator which I am talking about can be applied only on these type of objects. See here? So what it does, so it checks whether an element is present in that iterable object or not. If it is present, it will return true, otherwise false. So if your element is present in the iterable object, true. If the element is absent in the iterable object, false. Getting? See how the work Python has made easy. Internally, actually, there will be, this whole code will be converted into a for loop. Huh? You understanding? Our work is made easy. No? Programmers' efforts are reduced. Now the same thing, if someone tells you in C that check whether one element is present in this group object, so you will write an algorithm for it, and obviously in data structures you might have studied sequential algorithm, means sequential search, binary search, Fibonacci search, and then you might have studied their time complexities and all. See here, internally it might be doing some search algorithm. Our work is reduced. We just have to write one line code, element in iterable object. So if your element is present in it, it will return true. If it is absent, it will return false. Clear? I hope it is clear to you. Now you may ask, who are the iterable objects? String is a sequence object, so it is allowed. Then list, tuple, dictionary, ठीक है. These all are iterable. Getting set is also iterable, right? And many more are there. Many more. Range is also iterable object only. So all they come under iterable category. Okay. So now I'll just quickly show you how it works. Like suppose on string I'm doing like hello world, and you're checking whether E is present in S. So as E is present in S, it will return true, right? If I'm checking Z in S, obviously it is not, so it will return false. Okay? Hope you agree. Now here I have applied it on string. You can apply it on any other iterable object. Like I'm creating a list, suppose 40, 50, then Ram, then 4.5, then true, then Sita, enter. Now if I check whether Ram is in L, it will give true because Ram is present in L. Not only that, if you are checking true in L, so true is also present in L, so true. Getting? And similarly in, there is not in also. Ultimately again, as I said, I am from mathematics background, so everything I try to come to that explanation only. In mathematics also, in set explanation, set theory, we write X belongs to A, where A is your group object, means A is your set, that is collection, and X is an element. So we use this notation, X belongs to A, and if X doesn't belong to A, we put this sign. The same way to the programming model, we use not in. Okay? So if I'm writing false not in L, so is false not in L? Yes, the true will come because it's not. Getting? Here if I write Lakshman not in L, so as it is not in L, it will give true. Okay? And instead of not in, if I check in, so it will give false because Lakshman is not present. So I hope you got it. Quickly, just within a minute, we'll complete this slide so that we can stop for today's session. So membership operators are used to check whether an element is present in the iterable object or not. Right? See, in. So X in Y. So if your X is present in this Y, where Y is a iterable object and X is an element. So if your X is present in this iterable object, it will return true, otherwise false. And the complement of in is not in. Just the complement behavior. Okay? Means if your X is not in Y, it will give true, and if it is present in Y, it will give false. The opposite of it. Okay? So